Smart Sharpen. Crank it up to the max, dial in the radius. Watch out for oversharpening. Fight it. But let's start from the beginning and look closer. So, the photo is edited and ready to export. But it lacks a little sharpness. Let's carefully add some. First, we'll create a merged copy of all layers. Let's convert this layer into a smart object, so we can always come back and tweak the settings later. Now, let's run the Smart Sharpen filter. You want the eyes to be the sharpest part, so let's click on the eye in the preview. We're going to crank the amount up to the max, so we can clearly see what's happening, and start adjusting the radius. We'll dial the amount back down later. We need a radius that gives us maximum sharpness without introducing halos around the edges and making everything look terribly weird. The sharpening brought out some noise, so let's push the Reduce Noise slider up a bit. For the Remove drop-down, it's best to leave it on Lens Blur, because Gaussian blur is basically just unsharp mask, which is an outdated method. Sharpening is essentially just increasing the contrast at the edges between light and dark areas, and the radius controls the width of those edges. When the radius is too large, bright halos appear around fine lines like eyelashes and hair. That's exactly what gives it that over-sharpened look. Your ideal radius value depends on the resolution of the photo. Usually it's around 1.5 pixels, but this photo is quite blurry, so we're going to push it higher. To fight those halos, we have the option to fade the filter's effect in the highlights and shadows. We can use this to tone down the white halos around the hair. Keep in mind that right now you are watching this through YouTube's compression algorithm, which might completely eat up the difference between before and after. It might not show you the fine details I'm talking about right now. Just in case, we can also fade the sharpening in the shadows. There's rarely anything important in the shadows anyway, other than noise. The photo shouldn't look blurry anymore, but it's super important not to over-sharpen it. That looks even worse than being soft. Let's dial down the amount. Usually, we set it to something around 100%, but since this photo is heavily blurred, we'll leave it at around 200%. If you mess up, you can always double-click the Smart Sharpen label and change any value. One final touch. Let's change the layer's blending mode to Luminosity. This way, the sharpening will only affect the contrast and not the colors. It's a small detail, but at a 300% zoom, you can definitely see it. The hair is still a bit too sharp, so let's add a layer mask and paint with a black brush to hide it. And while we're at it, let's remove the sharpening from the nose and forehead too. We don't really need to see that much skin detail. And that's it. May the Smart Sharpen and perfect eye focus be with you. Subscribe to the channel so we can share more cool stuff with you in the next video, and hit the like button if you learned something new today.